PNC Hockey, Chris Lehman with you. Co-pilot John Johnson couldn't be with us here this evening, wishing him all the best, but we've still got plenty of Tar Heel hockey for you tonight. We're back at PNC Arena as the Tar Heels get set for another match with the NC State IcePack. They've had 2 games here in 2020 so far. Started off with a tough 4-2 loss to the Hokies of Virginia Tech, but this past weekend it was a solid outing against the UNC Wilmington Seahawks in an ACCHL divisional matchup. We've got some highlights for you with that game as well. The Tar Heels had a little bit of trouble early as they actually fell down a man 5-on-4. Plenty of good opportunities coming for the Seahawks early on the power play, and they were hot early. UNC had to escape a little bit of trouble, but they were able to come away with a Matt Richard power play goal in the first period to take a 1-0 lead into the second, and then they had some great opportunities in the second period, an extended 5-on-3 that they could not convert on, and the Tar Heels had to weather a bit of a storm. We saw it right after that power play, a Seahawk goal, then another one later in the period from their captain that made it 2-1, but the Tar Heels did not waver. They picked up a late second period goal that evened up the score at 2, then ran away in the third period with 3 goals to take a 5-2 win, including an empty netter late. Will Douthit held strong in the final 10 minutes to preserve that lead for the Tar Heels, and they took away, again, a 5-2 win over the Seahawks to build some momentum coming into this game against the IcePack tonight. It's a big one. We'll talk about what happened the last time these two teams were at PNC Arena when we come back. This is UNC Hockey coming to you live from PNC Arena. Welcome back to PNC Arena, home of the Carolina Hurricanes, and tonight the site of the backyard brawl between your UNC Tar Heels and the NC State IcePack. You can see the IcePack on the ice now. The Tar Heels will be coming out in just a moment. As they do, we're going to quickly take a look, though, at the highlights the last time these two teams met at PNC Arena for the Governor's Cup. It was a tough start in this one. Pardon me, didn't have the right highlights there for you. It was a tough one early for the Tar Heels as they actually fell behind 6-1 in the first period and were able to come back. It was a solid showing in the second 2 periods. They actually outscored the IcePack 5-2 over the second and third periods, and they're going to need another effort like that to win tonight. And they are getting set to take the ice. There are a couple of notes to make for the Tar Heels and a couple of important players who will be out tonight. One of them who has figured in a lot this season, in fact, averaging almost 2 points per game, which is second best on the team. Noah Friedman had surgery on his lower body over the break. The last game he played was that contest here at PNC Arena for the Governor's Cup, and he is likely out for the remainder of the season. Another notable Tar Heel missing tonight is going to be Jake Weiland, the sophomore, who is out after being injured late in the second or in that first semester. So those 2 names will be out of the lineup. A couple are new to the lineup, though. Number 27, Ian Reeves, and number 7, Johnny Alt, both new to the UNC roster. And they will be coming out with the Tar Heels here tonight. They're getting set right now to announce the seniors. They are announcing the seniors, I should say, for the NC State IcePack. They will get to the Tar Heels here in just a moment. A couple of nice ceremonies here as, again, announcing the seniors on both sides. A couple will be announced for the Tar Heels here in a moment, and also a Hall of Fame induction coming up in just a bit. We're going to throw it down to the ice, though, as they get ready to announce the Tar Heel seniors. And we'll throw it down to the PA announcer here at PNC Arena, Wade Minter.
A goal for the Tar Heels, number 29, Will Douthit. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we recognize the seniors playing for both teams. First, the seniors for the North Carolina State IcePack. A business administration major from Marriottsville, Maryland, number 7, Matt Costa. Aerospace Engineering major from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 42, Josh Cannon. Our Mechanical Engineering major from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 1, Jess Tarns. Entrepreneurship major from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 23, Leif Jodoma. And a mechanical engineering major from Charlotte, North Carolina, the captain, number 22, Ryan Kenny. And ladies and gentlemen, the graduating players from the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. UNC Medical School from Pacifica, California, alternate captain number 17, Jesse Jacobs. And an environmental sciences major, marine sciences minor from Brick, New Jersey, the captain number 4, Kyle Oliveira.
Hamel behind his man, breakaway in from the slot, he jumps one, he scores! A.J. Hamel puts it in, and Carolina has a 1-0 lead.
Well, now it's time to play hockey here at PNC Arena. Chris Lehman back with you as your Tar Heels get set to take on the NC State IcePack in the second edition of the Backyard Brawl here in the 2019-2020 season. You get a look there at Will Douthit, who will be a key for the Tar Heels in this one. He had made some huge saves for UNC to keep them in the game last time they were here at PNC. And there's a look at the starting netminder in Josh Cannon, the senior, in place of freshman Ian Hutchinson, who we saw the first time around, as Hutchinson was a little bit shaky against the Tar Heels, gave up some soft ones, and as a result, we're not going to see him again tonight. Cannon has shouldered a majority of the load throughout the course of the first half of the season, a little bit more, and so he'll be in the net again tonight. The Tar Heels getting set to head out to center ice for the opening face-off. You can see there the IcePack ready to get things started. We've got another good crowd on hand again tonight. About half, or a little over half, of that lower bowl is full, so it should be loud. Unfortunately for the Tar Heels, usually when we're here at PNC, it's more of an NC State crowd than it is a UNC crowd, and we'll see how they respond to that when we get things started here and now. Adamson on the faceoff, wins to the far side for Ben Reese. He'll sweep it deep as things get going here in the first period. Dumped back up the boards, held at the point, but only momentarily by the Tar Heels. Collected by Jadala. He'll be knocked off the puck. Matt Miller tracking it down, and he'll shovel it deep. Now Richard up the far boards. And they'll fight for it. Eventually, it's Reese coming away with it. He's got 3 IcePack defenders on him. Gets down into the far corner. Centered for Richard. Stick to skate, or skate to stick. And he can't get a shot away. Odd man rush brewing now for NC State. Stopped up at the blue line by Richard nicely. And that'll force the IcePack to regroup. Colby Peterson, his dump in denied. They'll fight for it at the Tar Heel line. And it's cleared all the way down and back behind the net. And it's like icing will be the call. Cannon came out like the icing had been waved off, but they will stop play. And the face-off will head all the way down the rink. Well, not a bad start for the Tar Heels. It didn't take NC State long to get going against UNC back in November, and they rattled off 6 goals in the first period. But they got things going early, and that is something to keep an eye on here. If you're UNC, when the crowd is mostly against you, you really want to get that first goal and try to take them out of it a bit, because that would be a huge advantage if you can take the extra 5,000 or so NC State fans out of this game, which is not an easy thing to do. Back underway, IcePack in control. Cleared all the way down from the UNC blue line. Cannon behind his net. Had some trouble with it, but clears it up the near boards. They'll battle there. Ian Reeves pins it for the Tar Heels, but it's swept across ice where NC State can break it out. And neutral ice, it's forced right back up by the Tar Heel defense. That's Graham Karen with the light pressure. And now to be moved forward, weaving through Riley Johnson. Keep an eye on him. A lot of speed and a lot of skill. Wrist shot from the top of the slot, and that one is deflected over the top of the net off the stick of Joey Davidson on that shot. And the faceoff will stay in the Tar Heel end. Get another look at this turnover opportunity for Davidson. And you can't turn the puck over in those dangerous areas much if you're UNC. That'll put you in some trouble. Shot from the middle point is patted away by Douthit. Play continues as Chris Solomon holds on the far circle. Across to the near point, wrist shot from Mazikowski off the stick of Douthit, and we play on. Battle back behind the net, centering pass denied by the stick of Douthit. Johnson working behind the net. He'll slide one to the point. Holding it there is Victor Hugo before the Tar Heels are able to clear it all the way down, and NC State will regroup. Well, right now, the Tar Heels having to defend a lot. They have not been able to get any offensive zone opportunities, and they might get one here. We've got an icing call, and so the IcePack will have to keep 5 tired bodies on the ice, a chance to get fresh legs out there for UNC in an offensive zone faceoff here in the scoreless first period so far. One back to the point, wrist shot blocked in front off the stick of Wayland. Wayland, we mentioned earlier in the pregame, wasn't necessarily expected to play tonight. He was shaken up earlier on this year, but he is in the lineup. Not expecting to see him all that much, though. Kramer on the break. Rebound left there by Cannon. It's poked around, and it falls home. Tar Heels, 2.5 minutes in, take the 1-0 lead. A great follow-up by Patrick Kramer, and he squeaks it between the pad and the arm of Cannon to give the Tar Heels a very important 1-0 lead. Let's get another look at it here. A pretty good defensive effort from Mazikowski to disrupt the initial shot, but the bouncing puck was tough to control for Cannon. There for good measure, Ben Reese putting it home, but it'll be Patrick Kramer with the first tally of the game, 1-0 UNC. Back to center ice for the faceoff. It'll be one backwards by the Tar Heels. Oliveira tracks it down in the corner, far side. He'll be stripped of the puck. Behind the net, it's the IcePack. Moved forward, and from the point, O'Rourke's shot blocked in front and cleared all the way down by UNC. This breakout that the Tar Heels, or lack of a breakout that the Tar Heels have right now, a bit concerning early. They're going to have to make some adjustments on that breakout and find a way to get out of their defensive zone. Jackson Thomas curling on the far boards. Can't hold on to the puck. He'll pin an IcePack player there and sweep it around the boards. O'Rourke in his skates can't contain it in the zone, and it will make its way all the way down. No icing call, as O'Rourke must have gotten a piece of it. And play continues. Up at the NC State line. Curl and drag for the IcePack. It's Todd moving into the zone. And a nice job staying on side. Pardon me, that is actually Alex Robinson. Works his way all the way back behind the net. Robinson up to the point. Wrist shot deflected wide. On the far boards, centered across for Miller. He can't get a shot away, and it bounces to the far corner. Again, Robinson quarterbacking on what looks a bit like a power play right now for NC State. Big hit behind the net. Robinson goes down. Looked like it was a bit from behind, but play will continue.
Carlson up the near wing. Looking to center. That's denied by Mazikowski. And the IcePack get it out of danger. I have a chance to move forward in transition. Too many Tar Heel defenders there, though. And it's turned over. High slot. Wrist shot goes just high off the stick of Colby Peterson. And another chance coming, and they score. We're tied up. Didn't take long. Laith Jadala with the second goal of the game, and it only took about a minute and a half or so for the IcePack to respond to that opening goal from UNC, and that's exactly what you didn't want if you're the Tar Heels. Get another look at it here. Bad clearance, turned right over, and that leaves Laith Jadala with a point-blank opportunity. Douthit down maybe a bit early, but there's not much that he can do when Jadala is able to walk in that close. So a 1-1 score just a few minutes into this contest. UNC looking to press right off the faceoff. Ricky Frosch in there with the Tar Heels' Patrick Kramer. Kramer getting some help from Ben Reese as they scrum for it in that near corner. It trickles out into the slot. Brendan Seppi there for NC State. He'll headman it, and it's cleared all the way down into the Tar Heel end. Centered by Costigan. Nobody there. Oliveira will track it down on the far board. Slaps it up for Ben Reese, who clears it all the way down, and this is going to be another icing call. And right now, when you look at it, the Tar Heels, just the lack of a breakout in their zone. You see it right there. There was plenty of time for Oliveira to move it forward. Ben Reese wasn't under too much pressure. He could have gained the line and at least avoided that icing call, but there's not a lot of organization coming out of the defensive zone for the Tar Heels and into neutral ice. We'll see what they do here. Lifted forward, looking for Reese in the center zone. He'll force it deep and forecheck. Ricky Frosch around the boards for Brendan Seppi, and they'll break it out. Big hit late on the far boards by a Tar Heel, but that leaves space for NC State to move up, and the centering pass in the skates of Peterson. A slapper from Frosch is off the skate of a defender, and it's cleared down once again by the Tar Heels. This one doesn't have enough juice to get all the way behind the goal line, so no icing. Brendan Seppi will collect and set up the breakout behind his net. Seppi just going to carry it himself down the far boards. Cuts to the middle, weaves through traffic, into the slot, and he's finally dispossessed as he falls to the ice. No penalty called, and play will carry on. Still NC State puck, though. Now it's Joey Davidson. His wrist shot from the top of the far circle doesn't make it to the net. They'll fight in the far corner for it. Banked up the boards. Gilatli pokes it around a defender. Chance coming for the Tar Heels. Gilatli, high circle, far side, and the wrist shot goes wide. And play will continue. So that opportunity goes by the wayside for the UNC Tar Heels, and it will stay 1-1. I can't argue too much or complain too much with the way that this game has started for UNC. They're not getting a lot of chances themselves, but they are still very much in this game. They've done a pretty solid job defensively of making sure that there aren't too many good opportunities in high danger areas. And as a result, only one goal on the board so far on both sides. Up the near boards, Mazikowski slaps it back deep for NC State. On the far boards, it's Victor Hugo. He'll lift it back deep again. Oliveira shovels it around the boards to the near side for the Tar Heels. Carlson takes a hit as he clears it out of the zone, but NC State right back in. Hugo, wrist shot off the shoulder of Douthit, and the net will be knocked off the Mornings as they pile up in front of the Tar Heel net. A big save from Will Douthit there to keep it even at 1-1. He really had to stand tall on that shot. We saw a little earlier on that first goal, he maybe went to the butterfly a little bit early. We get a look here. He was dropping to it, but a nice job of staying up on his feet and getting a piece of that one, and then just a pile up again in front of that Tar Heel net, and we'll have a face-off. It looks like it'll be outside of the UNC zone. One backwards by the IcePack. They'll control in neutral ice. It's Alex Robinson cutting in the middle at the point. Holding, drops it off on the far point for Hugo. He'll wrist one on goal. Patted away by Douthit. Robinson there for the rebound. 2-1 NC State. And that one, if you're the Tar Heels, you got to find a way to control that face-off and get it out. The NC State team has just been too good at forechecking. And we'll get another look at the goal here. A deflection in front, so you can't really fault Douthit on that rebound. And nobody was marking Robinson on the far post, and he's got a gaping 4x6 to put that through. So a 2-1 lead for NC State. They've picked up the last two after the Tar Heels took an early lead. And play will resume. Whalen behind the net for the Tar Heels. Swings it off the glass, and looks like it caught the official and dropped into that far corner, lifted out into the neutral zone by UNC. And this breakout just stagnant right now. There's not a lot of movement on the far side. Everyone collapsing to the near side. That'll leave an opportunity for a huge save from Will Douthit. Matt Miller, right where the first goal went home for Laith Jadala, is robbed by the glove of Will Douthit. And here you get a look at it. Miller on the far hashes on that circle, and a great extension from Douthit to get up and make that save. From the far point, wrist shot, misses the net, wrapped around the boards. O'Rourke holds on the near point, down into the corner, poked out in front, on goal, and Douthit got a piece of it to keep it out. O'Rourke on the far point holds it. Down low, slapper is disrupted, and a chance to get out quickly for the Tar Heels. Ben Reese carrying through the neutral zone, a slap shot off the defenseman Mazikowski, and that chance again going by the wayside for the Tar Heels. Moving forward quickly, NC State. It's dispossessed, and Reeves will sweep it around the boards, held in at the far point by NC State's defense. Lifted to the near side, glove down by Drugan, and the slap shot knocked away by the stick of Douthit to keep this game 2-1. A lot of work early for Will Douthit, and it's coming quickly. Here's another chance for NC State. Jadala, backhand pass to the middle, denied. Worked back around the boards. On the near side, Peterson throws one on goal, and he scores. Bad angle shot for Colby Peterson. And just like that, it's 3-1 NC State. And I think if you're Will Douthit, the first two, hard to fault him on. A tip shot left a good rebound for Robinson, unmarked on that second goal. The first one, Jadala at point-blank range, tough one to stop. That one is a stoppable puck for Will Douthit. We'll get another look here as Daniel Jones sweeps it around the boards. Peterson from a really bad angle, and it looks like that one might have slipped through his legs. Either way, there was a hole there for Douthit that should not have been there. And it's 3-1 NC State. And this, if you're UNC, this is where you get a little bit concerned. Now, you look at it, you fell behind by 5 goals in the first period last time you met the IcePack, but you weren't able, you made it a game, but you weren't able to get all the way back. And so if this game gets two more goals further out of reach, it's going to be really tough for the Tar Heels to fight their way back into this one. NC State controls off an offensive draw. Shot from the center point from O'Rourke is blocked. That was Jesse Jacobs getting in the way, and the IcePack have to regroup in their own end. Into neutral ice, pickpocketed by Jacobs. He'll lift it deep. Gelatley headed in. Regan on the forecheck as well. But NC State will find open space and clear it up and out. Through the middle of the ice goes Riley Johnson. He'll be knocked off the puck. Daniel Jones giving chase in the far corner. He's got Johnson on him. A little help from a teammate now in Gelatley, as there's a 4-man scrum between Gelatley and Regan of the Tar Heels and Riley Johnson and Joey Davidson of the IcePack. Regan knocked to the ice, and that will draw a whistle. And it looks like this will just be a face-off in the Tar Heel end. That puck pinned up against the boards for a long time. Used to see that call a lot more. It was called much more frequently back in the 80s and the early 90s, but they've loosen that up a little bit. Teams scrum a little bit longer along the wall before play is called. And as we expected, an offensive zone face-off for NC State. They'll pin it behind the net. Swatted up the boards. Frosch holds the zone momentarily. Beeson knocked his stick away from him and clears it out to the NC State blue line where the IcePack defense is waiting. Zarek pickpocketed at the point And it's dumped back in again by the Tar Heels. They've really got to establish this forecheck here. They have it deep. Karen ducks a check as he swats it around the boards looking for Beeson. Beeson can't track it down in the far corner, and it's NC State in control up the near side. Eric Todd, his pass hits the skate of a teammate, and it deflects out to Oliveira. He'll dump it back in. A deflection off the stick of Regan. We'll get it a little bit deeper, but the IcePack will clear it back out, and a little bit too far. Another icing call. And UNC will get an offensive zone face-off and an opportunity. Now we're a little over halfway through this contest so far, or this period, I should say, so far. It was a good start for the Tar Heels. Early goal from Patrick Kramer on the odd man rush rebound. And since then, it's been all about NC State's response. It took about 45 seconds to even the score. They've added 2 more in a span of about 5 minutes after that. And that's where we stand now, 3-1 NC State. Through neutral ice, it's deflected deep. And the Tar Heels will regroup. Graham Karen circling behind his own net. Stops in that far circle. Loses the puck for a moment, gets it back. Johnson knocks him down, and we're going to get a penalty. That was a bit of a misplay from Graham Karen, and it turns out in the favor of UNC as he draws a boarding penalty. It will just be a 2-minute hit from behind penalty on number 17, Garrett Arini, the freshman out of Youngsville, North Carolina. Get another look at it here. Yeah, a little bit away from the boards, but he definitely hit him with the numbers clearly visible. And so a 2-minute power play for UNC. This is a power play that's been pretty potent. They had a power play goal against UNC Wilmington this past Saturday. And then, of course, if you go back to the end of November, that last game they played of the semester against NC State, they scored 4 power play goals. I can't tell you the number of power play goals against Virginia Tech, but at least 5 power play goals in the last 3 games for these Tar Heels. They'll look to set it up now. Gelatley's backhand pass, can't find anybody cross ice, and Daniel Jones will have to settle it down for Chris Adamson at the NC State line. Adamson leaves it for Gelatley. Bad angle shot off the side of the net. He'll carry it back around to the far boards. Cross ice for Daniel Jones. Awkward one-timer. Bounces in on goal. Doesn't get to the net. And the IcePack clear it out. Just over 8 minutes remaining in this first period. Shorthanded chance here for NC State. And a great save by Douthit on the far post. Colby Peterson, who's already got 1, had another great chance. And Douthit comes up big for the guys in blue. But this is not the situation you want to be in if you're the Tar Heels. You've got a man-up situation with Arini in the box, and you give up a scoring opportunity. Now you have to work with a defensive zone face-off. Tar Heels do win it. Worked around the boards for Reese on the near side. Rink wide for Oliveira. Back to the middle for Richard in his skates. And cleared right back out. Oliveira collecting behind his own net. Fans on a pass to the middle. Stolen away by the NC State penalty kill. And cleared back in. Oliveira will track it down. Around behind his net. He slaps it over for Richard. Move to the near boards in front of the UNC bench. And Reese can't control it. And it trickles all the way down behind the NC State net. IcePack get to it. They clear it up and out. Looks like this one might have gotten into the benches. And so it will be another offensive zone face-off for North Carolina. And this is where you'd really like to win a face-off. NC State here in the first period so far has dominated the face-off circle. And that's part of the reason they have controlled so much of the play. When you can control the puck off of a draw as well as NC State has done against UNC tonight, you're going to control possession for a good portion of the game at least. And you're going to be able to control the pace of play and everything that you want to about this game. Up the near boards. It's Ben Reese. Stopping to avoid a check, but can't hold on to the puck. Well played by Todd, and we've got another penalty coming. This one will go against UNC on the effort from Eric Todd to get that one out of the zone. And this is going to be a holding call on the Tar Heels. I believe Daniel Jones will be the guilty party, and we'll play some 4-on-4 hockey. Pardon me, it's 22, not 92, so it'll be Mason Regan giving a little wink to the camera. He knows it's there. He's at PNC Arena. And it'll be a power play now as the penalty has expired to Arini for NC State. Kramer, though, bringing it in. He's got a chance on a shorthanded opportunity, can't get it to the net. And the IcePack clear up and out. They'll move forward into the zone. Down into the far corner, Jadala. He'll button hook there. Back to the point. Wrist shot coming, and it didn't get to the net. Looks like it hit Parker Zarek in front, and again, Jadala will track it down on the far side. Spins it back to the corner for Zarek. Middle point O'Rourke back over to the far boards again. Zarek will collect in the far corner. Just over 6 minutes to go in the period. A 3-1 lead for NC State. Centering pass blocked down by Daniel Jones. Back out in front, bouncing puck to the high far circle, and the wrist shot goes wide. Stuffed chance there for Zarek, denied by Douthit. Back out in front, Douthit with a save and another. Again to the center, and no shot for Zarek as he's knocked off the puck, and the Tar Heels clear it out to continue to kill this penalty. And this is certainly a must kill. If you fall behind 4-1 late in the period, to NC State, it's going to become infinitely more difficult to come back in this contest. Behind the net, IcePack circling. Mazikowski near point. Cross ice, back to the near side for Alex Robinson. He'll hold on the side wall. Knocked down by Beeson, gets a pass over to Mazikowski. Deflected in front, and it's off the iron. Off the crossbar, a great chance for NC State on a wide open net. Could have been 4-1, but will stay at a 2-goal game. And this time, the wrist shot from the far point snagged by Douthit, and he'll hold on for a face-off with just under 5 to play. Let's get another look at that. Nice little redirection from the IcePack's Arini, and then the perfect chance for Matt Miller. Douthit down, net wide open, and he lifts it off the crossbar. So the Tar Heels dodge a bullet. Face off to the left of Will Douthit with 4:59 to go in the first period. Controlled by NC State. Shot blocked in traffic. Tar Heels kill off the penalty. Out of the box, Regan. He'll come in to help on the defensive end as the IcePack continue to control. Robinson centering pass picked off by Regan, and he'll clear it down the ice. No icing as it trickles into the far corner where NC State can control. Up the far boards for Matt Miller. He'll weave down the far side. Forced off the puck by Graham Karen. Karen shoveling it up the boards. Poke to the middle. High slot, wide open. Robinson. Wrist shot blocked by Adamson in front. A lot of dangerous turnovers here in this first period for UNC. Right around the danger areas, too. Right in that slot area. That was the third really good chance. Unfortunately for the Tar Heels, they blocked it. But the third or fourth really good chance and a great scoring area for the IcePack. Speaking of a great scoring area, the puck loose in front, a scramble for it, and they'll scuffle after the whistle. Net got knocked off, and play stops as the two teams come together and argue here at the end of the first period. 3:47 to go, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a penalty on this. They'll just separate the two teams. Let's get a look at this again as Ian Reeves went in for the stuff attempt, couldn't get it to go. There you see the net just slightly coming off its moorings. I think the official maybe also lost sight of the puck, and so he blows the whistle to be an offensive zone face-off for the IcePack. Here on the near circle, it'll be Reeves to take it for UNC. he draws it backwards. Jalali, backhander on goal. Cannon with a quick reaction to make the pad save. Still Tar Heel puck. Reese with the wrister. Padded away again by Cannon. He'll throw one across, and no chance there. Oliveira on an awkward shot from a very bad angle. Now it's Colby Peterson trying to go inside out on Richard. Can't maintain control of the puck, and the Tar Heels will clear it out from behind their own net. Just over 3 minutes to go in this first period, so a 3-1 lead for NC State. It's been that way for about 8 minutes of play now, where they saw 4 goals scored in the span of a little over 5 minutes, and we've gone scoreless now for upwards of 10 almost. Chance moving forward in transition. Beeson beats out the icing call to the near corner. Sweeps one in front. A bouncing puck is left there. Nobody for the Tar Heels can get to it. Moving forward, 1-on-2 for NC State is Joey Davidson. He'll backhand one over top of the net, and they'll fight for it along the far boards. NC State slowly gets it out, and a bounding puck trickles down into NC State ice. Johnson fans on a quick turnaround pass, trying to catch the Tar Heels on a change. Jadala has a chance to do the same. He'll get it deep and chase it down in the far corner. Bodied up by Adamson. Jadala still in control. He goes down to his knees into the far corner again, and Daniel Jones will shovel it around the boards. Now it's Kinney along the near wall. Up to Ben Reese. He'll collect the loose puck and sweep it all the way down. Another icing call here on the Tar Heels. There have been a lot of those tonight, and that is not a good sign. It means that the Tar Heels are not confident in controlling the puck in their own defensive end and getting it out on an organized and well executed, I should say, breakout. It's all been really all about just dump it out and chase it down. There's another dump and chase. This one will just have enough for icing with 1:58 to go in the period. Another face-off in the offensive end for NC State. And if you're the Tar Heels, you've got to find a way, 1, to control off this face-off, and then 2, get it out of danger without an icing call, because every time there's an icing, they've got to keep those same guys on the ice. Those are tired legs. Now the Tar Heels win the face-off. Swept around the boards by Jones, up to the point, centered for Kramer, and he'll gain the red line and move forward. Kramer down the near wing. Lone goal score for the Tar Heels. Centered in front. Couldn't connect on the centering pass, and it works its way all the way back down to the UNC end. Rink wide, Oliveira to Richard. He'll set it back across. Tipped off of a UNC stick, it looked like, but not in time to avoid the icing call, or a little too early to avoid the icing call, I should say, as that one came in front of the red line. And now another great chance to set up a huge offensive possession for NC State off this faceoff. They'll win it back to the point. Mazikowski down the near wall, and the centering pass tipped away, but Mazikowski stands strong on the point to hold the zone. 1:25 to go in the period. Mazikowski with it behind the net. Looks to the center. Oliveira denies that pass, and it's swept around to the far boards. Ryan Kinney pressuring with 1:15 left in this first period. Still a 3-1 lead for NC State. And it'll be forked out of the zone just barely by the Tar Heel defense. And in comes NC State. Quick chance, and they score. They caught the Tar Heels on a bad change, and this time it's Chris Solomon with his first of the game, and Solomon makes it 4-1 with a minute left in the period. And that one's a bit of a backbreaker. You hear this a lot in hockey. Goals in the first minute and the last minute of periods are incredibly important, and there you see pretty similar to where Jadala was when he scored the first goal, a little bit further outside, but picked that same top right corner on the netminder Douthit over his left shoulder for a 4-1 lead. 50 seconds to go as we restart play. It's Alex Robinson in control for the IcePack. He'll execute a quick give and go into the zone, wrister on, and it looked like Douthit got a piece of that and knocked it into the corner. Still Robinson, handed off for O'Rourke, who gives it right back. Robinson from the midpoint, can't get it through. Another sweeping shot is blocked in traffic by the Tar Heel defense, and now North Carolina in control. Up the near boards, past the benches goes Graham Carron. Swats it past O'Rourke and back behind the net. But he can't win the race to it the second time. O'Rourke up the near boards. Robinson knocked down as he tried to clear. And this should do it for the first period. Victor Hugo using the net to shield off Beeson, and that will finish off the final seconds of the first period. Early start for the Tar Heels, 2.5 minutes in. Patrick Kramer with the goal to give UNC a 1-0 lead, but 3 quick ones after that put the IcePack up, and a late goal off the stick of Chris Solomon with a minute left has us at 4-1 after 1 period. We'll be back at the intermission right after this.
Welcome back to PNC Arena as your UNC Tar Heels take on the NC State IcePack. Another tough first period, not quite as bad as we saw the last time these two teams met, but still a tough end of the period for UNC. They got off to a great start. Patrick Kramer on an odd man rush came in and finished his own rebound, and UNC got off to exactly the start that they wanted by taking that lead early, but NC State responded in a big way. Over the next 6.5 minutes, they would pot 3 goals to take a 3-1 lead, and then UNC was able to settle it down. They played a good defensive game. Douthit made some big saves on some key opportunities for NC State to keep it close, but it was another goal late from Chris Solomon that made it 4-1, and that's the big one for UNC to look at, because that's a momentum builder. Anytime you give up a goal in the first minute or the last minute of a period, it can really swing momentum, and it's going to be up to UNC to come out after the break and really tamp that momentum down and try to turn things around. Now, the good news for UNC, the last time they fell behind big against NC State, they outscored them 5-2 over the course of the final 2 periods. That type of scoring would leave us even after 3 periods, and that's certainly what UNC would like to see, if not a lead after 3 periods. Still a lot of work to do. They've got to find a way to get out of their own zone and keep control of the puck if they want to get back into this hockey game, but it's certainly not out of the question. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the second 20 minutes, though, coming up right after this.
Now you get a look here as we come back to PNC Arena at some of the highlights from that first period. Here's a look at that last goal of the period from Chris Solomon that made it 4-1, walking in on Douthit and sniping that top right corner on the Tar Heel netminder. So a 4-1 advantage for State over your Tar Heels after 20 minutes. And we're just about set to start period number 2. And this is a very important first 2 to 3 minutes, or we'll say 5 minutes of this period, because of that goal you just saw from Chris Solomon. When you score late, you can carry that momentum into the locker room if you're NC State. If you're the Tar Heels, you're hoping that break kind of stymies that momentum a little bit and slows it down and allows you to come out with some energy in the second period, jump back into this hockey game and make it interesting for the final 40 minutes. 2 teams will switch ends. The Tar Heels in their home whites tonight will be moving right to left in the second period. The NC State IcePack in those new red alternate uniforms will be moving left to right. And it looks like we'll have that same matchup that we saw at the start of the game. Reese, Adamson, and Kramer out there for UNC. And it'll be Kinney, Jadala, and Drugan out there for NC State. So not quite the same matchup. The first line for the Tar Heels will be out there to start the game. But this is not the starting line that we saw from NC State. Speaking of NC State, here comes Kinney down the near wing. Wrist shot, he scores! 20 seconds into the second period, just like that, 5-1 NC State. And that was a heck of a shot from the NC State captain. Here's another look at it as Kinney, just with speed, beats Oliveira down that right wing and picks the top right corner on Douthit. Wow, was that a nice shot. And so we'll resume. Less than a minute in, it's already 5-1 in favor of NC State, and that top right corner has been a bit of a weak spot. We've seen 3 of the 5 goals potted in that top right corner. So we had an icing call. UNC will get the offensive zone face-off here early in the second, but that top right corner has been a bit of a problem for UNC's netminder Douthit here tonight. And you wonder if there's something that NC State saw when looking at the last time these two teams met that has made them go there. Near point slapper from Daniel Jones, sticked away by Cannon and dumped out. Chance in transition, 2-on-1 for NC State. In they come, and a beautiful defensive effort by Daniel Jones, sprawling out to get a stick to that one on the pass to the middle and denying the odd man rush chance. Jones now behind the net, pressuring, leaves it for Graham Caron, who's knocked to the ice, moving it up the boards. Held at the far point by Mazakowski. Down the far side, now it's Riley Johnson with a quick wrister from the far circle, and that will be high and wide and out of play. So a quick stoppage. We'll get a face-off coming up. I didn't see a deflection off that shot, but we'll wait and see where the face-off ends up. And it will have, or they will say it hit a Tar Heel. Offensive zone face-off, far circle for NC State. They'll win it to the boards. Holding on to it for the IcePack. And a quick shot from Peterson as he snuck into the slot, will be swallowed up by Douthit. And we'll get another face-off in that same circle. Again, it'll be Riley Johnson for NC State. It's the Tar Heels' Mason Regan that ends up winning that draw, and it's cleared all the way down, and another icing call. We've seen a ton of icing calls tonight. A lot on the Tar Heel and a good number on the NC State end as well. Something I'm sure that their head coach, Mike Gazzillo, is not happy with. He wants to see a cleaner exit from the zone from his team, as I'm sure does head coach Jeff Volkman of the Tar Heels, as they've resorted in a lot of cases just to lifting this puck all the way down the ice to get it out of danger. Now they'll be able to control into the neutral zone. Behind, the pass behind Beeson, off his stick and taken back by NC State. It's Johnson, or pardon me, Peterson, leaving for Johnson, who's pickpocketed at the far face-off dot. And the puck trickles back to the point. O'Rourke, weak dump in, controlled by the Tar Heels now on the far side, as they get caught up and finally clear it out. Deflected deep to avoid the icing call. Nice play by a Tar Heel headed to the bench. I believe that was Regan. And now the centering pass is knocked just wide, and we've got a NC State player into the net, and that will result in a stoppage and a face-off. That was Colby Peterson going in with some force. And it looks like he'll be okay. That's good news. Anytime you go crashing into a hard iron post at full speed on the ice, it doesn't feel good. But this will be an offensive zone face-off, so I guess they'll say the defenseman for the Tar Heels knocked Peterson into the net. Either way, Tar Heels are able to get it up and out into neutral ice. Slapped deep by the Tar Heels' Kramer. They've got the top line of Reese, Kramer, and Adamson out now. Rink-wide pass, Caron finds his defensive partner Jones. Banked up the board, Zarek denies that lane and clears it all the way behind the net. Douthit pins it, leaves it for Jones. Banked up the near side for Reese, who centers, looking for Kramer. That pass stolen away by Frosch, and he'll force it deep before the Tar Heels can clear it a little bit further back. At the NC State line, it's Seppi. His pass deflected. Chance coming here for the Tar Heels. Jacobs to the middle, and the pass is tipped away. Seppi was there along with number 19, Eric Todd, to deny that centering pass. Wrister from the far point, patted away by Cannon, and we've got another penalty coming up. This one will go against NC State. So the second power play of the game coming up for the Tar Heels. This is one you'd really like to score on. Trailing by 4 at this point. And we'll get another look at the play. Good pad save there from Cannon. Juicy rebound. Nobody there for it for UNC, but a very clear trip that will go against Ricky Frosch. A 2-minute minor. As you see him there sitting in the box. And the Tar Heels look to set up the power play. They win it back to the point. Pitchforked back in on the near side by Richard. Couldn't get it very far. Has to retreat into neutral ice. Now it's passed to the far side. Can't connect. And it's swiped all the way down by NC State. Jones will circle behind his own net. Loses the puck right to a teammate in Richard, though, and it's banked all the way down. Kramer beats out the icing call, but can't win the race to the puck. And it's cleared down. Short-handed chance now on an awkward Karam. Here comes Kinney. Wrist shot off the pad of Douthit, and it's knocked back behind the net. But a great short-handed chance there for NC State. Now the Tar Heels will break out of the zone. Streaking down the near wing, it's Gelatly with speed, forcing his way to the front. One shot stopped. The second try stopped as well by Cannon. Centered to the high slot, and a slapper from Jones ends up wide. Now it's Patrick Kramer quarterbacking. Holding on, loses control, and it's dumped out into neutral ice by NC State. And it trickles all the way down, and that will allow the Pack to get a full sail change here. And that's not something you want if you're a UNC. Cleared all the way down, icing again waved off. But if you're the Tar Heels, and in the second period when the line change from your defensive end is so much longer to get to the bench, when you're on a power play, you want to try and keep it outside of your defensive zone and prevent the IcePack from having that opportunity to get all 4 penalty killers off. Wrist shot from Oliveira, blocked in front. Turnaround shot from Beeson, deflected wide off a skate as well. And again, NC State clears it up and out to kill more time on this penalty. And not much time left on the penalty to Frosch, as Eric Todd goes to work on the penalty kill for the IcePack, pinning it along the near wall. Get a close-up look at him there as UNC clears it out but can't control. Mazikowski retreats into his own end for space and then fires one all the way down behind the NC State or the UNC net. And the Tar Heels having trouble controlling it. Deflects in on Douthit, and he'll be forced to cover up for a face-off with 14:41 left in this second period. I'll get another look at this chance as Oliveira's shot blocked by Hugo, and a turnaround opportunity for Beeson just wide, and it looked like there was a little bit of space there to slide it in on the near post. Either way, defensive zone faceoff. Won by UNC and lifted up and out of play. And we'll get another faceoff here to the left of Will Douthit on the near side. We are back to even strength at this point. 14:37 to go in period number 2, and a 5-1 lead for the NC State IcePack. And again, it's the Tar Heels winning the faceoff. Daniel Jones this time clears it up and out in play, giving chase. Gelatly tips it past the defender and wrists it. Looked like it caught the blocker of Cannon and went over top of the net. The best chance of the day for the Tar Heels, and we've got another penalty coming as they've set up the forecheck in control in the near corner. Now Gelatly, bad angle shot off of Cannon, out in front. Regan's shot denied, and now the IcePack will touch up, and another penalty against NC State as Ian O'Rourke gets a touch to it. But this will be a holding penalty, and they will send Matt Miller to the box. And that was a good opportunity for the Tar Heels and a good decision to take it right at Miller. Miller, a forward, playing in a defensive role in that situation, and so he's not going to be able to defend as well. As a result, you draw the penalty. Cleared out immediately, though, by NC State. And the Tar Heels will have to set up their power play from the defensive end. Still struggling to get it out into neutral ice. Adamson dispossessed. 2-on-1. It's Todd and Zarek to the middle. Zarek alone. Backhand, he scores. Short-handed tally. It's Parker Zarek with his first of the evening. And it's 6-1 NC State. Well, Zarek played a big role in the game at PNC back in November. Had a pair of goals in that game. Also added an assist as well, as he was one of the 3 stars of that game with 3 points. And you get another look at it there. Just a quick 2-on-1 off of the neutral zone turnover, inside out. And Douthit doesn't stand much of a chance when NC State can get in that close. Well, we're about 30 seconds into the penalty to Matt Miller for holding. And the Tar Heels have given one up on the man advantage. Turned over at the NC State line. Cleared back out into the Tar Heel zone. Oliveira shovels it up the boards. Now it's Beeson in control. He'll backhand it off the glass, but again, it's NC State there to answer and force it back. Regrouping at the NC State line is Reese. He'll have it poked away by Peterson. Flip to the middle. Riley Johnson has it caught in his skates. The saucer pass from Colby Peterson, a little bit behind his teammate, or otherwise that could have been goal number 7. Johnson looking for the 7th anyhow as he weaves his way out in front and can't get it past Douthit. Now Ben Reese clears it out, looking for Regan. That pass denied and swatted all the way down into the state zone as we approach the last 30 seconds of this man advantage for UNC. Far boards Arini. He'll be checked off the puck as it moves into neutral ice, dumped right back in by NC State. Daniel Jones elevates one up. He finds Patrick Kramer at the NC State line. He'll cut to the middle, and the pass tipped away by Ricky Frosch and Brendan Seppi. Out in front, one chance stopped. The second one stopped as well as Cannon makes a couple of big saves, and we've got a stoppage after those two big denials from Josh Cannon. And you got to look at him there, see if we can't get a replay of those two saves. That was a heck of a sequence for Josh Cannon in net, as the Tar Heels had some great chances to put one past him and couldn't do it. Ricky Frosch in control as the last seconds tick off of that penalty to Matt Miller. He'll come out of the box. Gets a pass immediately stolen by Gelatley. He'll fire one from the top of the far circle, and that whistles wide. And a chance to move up again for NC State. Miller looking to make up for the penalty. Poked away from him as he slipped to the middle. Into the near corner, though, Chase, and it's cleared off of the NC State bench, which will be considered out of play. A quick stoppage. And it'll be an offensive zone faceoff for NC State. The Tar Heels, the biggest problem for them right now, other than the fact that they trail by 4, but the biggest issue is that even on the power play, they're having trouble getting out of their own zone cleanly and setting up a forecheck and getting the offense running at the other end. And if they're not able to do that, 3 or 4 goals is going to be difficult, let alone, 5 or 6 to tie this game up or take the lead. Now, there is a player down in the far corner. It was Graham Caron hit, and he will limp his way back to the middle of the ice, and he can't do much. Tar Heels playing essentially a man down as Caron struggles to get to the bench. NC State still in control. Jones in the near corner tracks down a pass along the boards. He'll be pinned there by Drugan. Solomon comes away with the puck, and now we've got another stoppage. And I believe it got up and out of play. It was deflected up over the glass. That's exactly what happened. And so a face-off to the left of Douthit one more time. Now we do have another very good crowd on hand tonight for this contest between your Tar Heels and the NC State IcePack. They've been able to fill up, about half to call it 3/5 of the lower bowl, usually 5,000 or 6,000 people at least here. And now we'll get another stoppage. You saw that big hit from Seppi, and he's going to get called for roughing. They'll say it was too high. That hit was too high, and another power play for the Tar Heels. Now, right now, UNC is 0 for 3 on the man advantage. This will be the 4th chance as Seppi heads to the box, and you get another look at it. Looked pretty clean, actually, when you get that angle. As he went shoulder to shoulder, the follow-through was high, and I think that's what caught the officials' attention. And so a 5-on-4 that the Tar Heels will certainly welcome. But immediately, it's Mazikowski elevating the puck up and down the ice. And the Tar Heels will have to regroup. This has been a struggle right out of the gate on the power play, really all night so far for the Tar Heels. It's been dumped right back out, and they're forced to retreat and bring it back in. By the time they're able to establish a power play, they've lost about half of the penalty time. And a quick stoppage on the stuff attempt. Looks like somebody knocked the net off once again. have to wait to restart play. Those nets have been coming ajar pretty easily here in this game. Not sure if it's just a lack of quality pegs to keep that net on the moorings, or if these guys are just colliding that hard in and around the net. A little over 10 minutes to go in the second. It is a 5-goal deficit for the UNC Tar Heels. They do have about half of a power play left right now, though. Although they have not been able to set up and control and execute their power play system the way they would have liked. 4-man scrum along the near wall. Reese in there for the Tar Heels, along with Adamson. They'll fork it up the boards. Richard has time and space. Slap shot blocked. And moving forward with it, Zarek in transition, looking for another shorthanded chance, and he'll be denied by Richard. Great effort by the defenseman after a shot was blocked to get back and stave off that 2-on-1 chance for the Pack. 9.5 minutes to go in the second period. We've seen 2 goals from NC State to extend their lead from 4 to 6-1. Including one in the first 20 seconds that was really a bit of a heartbreaker for UNC. Cleared out once again on the penalty kill by the Pack. Collected behind the net with some speed, and moving forward, Daniel Jones banks it off the board, sent right back into his own end by the Pack penalty kill. Gelatley working on Miller. He has his stick lifted, puck comes loose, and it's Alex Robinson on the far boards. Gelatley still going to work. He takes it away. Saucer pass to the near side for Kramer. Back to the middle, and he lifted that pass too high, looking for Jones. Out of the box comes Seppi. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as the puck is cleared out to the red line, sent right back into the NC State zone, where the Tar Heels will look to forecheck. Out into neutral ice, deflected to the heel line, and right back. Gelatley trying to get around the defenseman, and he can't do so. Huge hit from Devin Halko, and that forced the Tar Heels offsides. We're going to get a whistle. Gelatley a bit slow coming up to the bench, but a good look at a great hit from Devin Halko in open ice. I think Gelatley thought he was going to commit to that far side and force him left earlier than he did. And so that left Gelatley exposed for that hit. 8:28 to go in the second. 6-1 NC State. As it's moved forward, Arini streaking in all alone, and he's stopped by the pad of Will Douthit. Douthit gives a little tap to his post as well. I'm not sure if that was a thank you or a checky to make sure it had stayed on its moorings. Either way, it's still NC State. Puck in the wrister from the far point, swallowed up by Will Douthit. He'll hold on, and we'll get another face-off in the Tar Heel end. This is face-off to the right of Douthit as we restart play. Along the far wall, they'll battle for it. Tar Heels come away with it. Beeson fighting for it with Matt Miller. Pinned along the wall, Mazikowski there as well. Or pardon me, O'Rourke there as well for the IcePack. And are only able to hold that line for a moment. Cleared back to Devin Halko. He'll look forward. Pinballs through the neutral zone, finds Matt Miller. Miller holding on the sidewall near side of the ice. Sent to the middle, bouncing puck, trickles through, and eventually pinballs out of the zone. But the Tar Heels can't settle it down. Ricky Frosch pitchforks it back in. And Matt Miller comes away with it. Quick wrister, looped over the net, hit a stick in front, and trickles out of harm. On the blue line, it's held again by NC State. Frosch from the top of the near circle. His shot blocked. Oliveira looks a little bit shaken up after that shot. And it's still NC State puck. Miller weaving behind the net. They'll leave it for a teammate drop back. O'Rourke's one-timer deflected high. NC State holding the zone again. And they have, it's one thing that we have seen out of NC State that we haven't seen out of any other Tar Heel opponent this season. One-timer high and wide from Robinson, and it ends up out of play. But we have not seen many opponents of UNC who are able to hold the zone and hold that blue line as well as NC State has here tonight. Even in the first meeting between these two teams, Tar Heels were able to break out a little bit easier. And that has not been the case tonight. Off the face-off, Tar Heels will control. Gelatley looking cross ice for a teammate in Jesse Jacobs. He'll poke it to the front. Nobody gets there for the Tar Heels. And NC State brings it back up the near wing. It's Ryan Kinney who scored to start this period. To the middle, looking for Drugan, and he can't control. Near sideboards, it's Gelatley. And it's swatted all the way down. Jackson Thomas chasing it down, and his stick broke on the side of the net as he went around. He'll have to head to the bench. NC State gains the red line, clears it deep. Jones behind the net and into the near corner will pick it up as he sweeps it out. Big hit at center ice by Gelatley. Not sure if he thought Ricky Frost was the same guy in Hauco that hit him earlier, but he gets a little bit of redemption for that hit. Leith Jadala streaking in. He'll circle the wagons. Back to the point, near side. He's got Riley Johnson. Bad angle shot off the shoulder of Douthit, and he'll swallow up the rebound once again with 5:47 to go for another faceoff. And there's a look at that hit by Gelatley. That's one thing I gotta say, as we've seen a couple of big hits in this game on both sides. And there were a couple that were slightly from behind. Didn't seem ill-intentioned, though. There have been also been some really big, clean hits, including that one Gelatley just threw and the one that he received a few minutes earlier. Off the face-off, swept around the boards by the Tar Heels, but not out. Peterson on the far wall. He'll be denied on the initial pass, but eventually finds Robinson in the near corner. High slot for Peterson. His wrist shot wide. Open net. They can't get the shot off in time. Another try deflects wide. Not sure if Douthit got a piece of that one or not, but it will still be NC State in control. Wrist shot high and wide from the far circle. Wrapped back behind the net. Into the near corner. They'll battle for it. And it's Richard going at it with Peterson. And they're down on the ice. Peterson on top of Richard now. And play will stop as we have some fisticuffs back behind the play. And there's Richard. He wasn't done. I don't know if he was watching the McGregor fight the other night, maybe looking to pull a little UFC move there. Either way, these two players will head to the penalty box. And I would imagine they'll be there for the remainder of the period. 10 seconds over 5 minutes left. These should be 5-minute majors as you see Peterson gesturing to the crowd to get them riled up. But they'll be in for 5 minutes. So unless there's a stoppage in the last 10 seconds of the period, Peterson shouldn't come out of the box. And the same for Richard. Although Richard has not entered the box. In fact, he is heading to the locker room. And we get a look at the replay again as the two come together. Richard and Peterson going at it, but it's Peterson who takes down Richard. Not sure why at this point Richard would be headed to the box, and that might be what we see the discussion is about down here. Now we'll get a look. It looks like assistant coach Tim Bukowski is going to make his way to the dressing room, so that might not have anything to do with the penalty to Richard as he heads to the dressing room, but he might need some help. And it looks like the trainers are going to make their way around here shortly to go meet him as well. Now we get word up. It does sound like Richard just a little shaken up. We'll see if he returns to the ice for the end of this period or the beginning of the next one, but he's in the locker room at this point, and it will remain 5-on-5 hockey here with 5:10 left in the second. A total of 16 penalty minutes now in this period. Big hit off the faceoff by Kramer as the shot was deflected up and over the net. We'll try it again. One into the near corner by the Tar Heels. Daniel Jones stuck there. He's got Chris Solomon on him. And a scrum ensues. In to help is Adamson. He'll fork it loose. Up for Kramer. Now to the middle. It's Beeson. And the puck pops up and over his head. He can't find it. NC State clears. Now it's Solomon down the near wing. He'll beat Adamson to it in the corner. In front of the net, nobody there for the Tar Heels. It got stuck in the skates of Graham Caron. And fortunately, he had time to get rid of. Dispossessed by Zarek in the wrist shot high on the near side from Chris Solomon. Two great chances there for NC State go by the wayside. Solomon back to the middle, and we've got a arm up. Looks like we're going to have a penalty on UNC. As NC State just relentless on their forecheck and their attack in this offensive end. Looks like it'll be Patrick Kramer headed to the box. 2 minutes for hooking on that play. You get a look close up at him in the sin bin. And there are plenty of NC State fans
on the power
to
play.
give him a hard time.
And this has been an eventful period when you look at the penalty sheet.
For 2 minutes here.
When you include the two fighting.
They'll look to add to a 6-1 lead with just under 4.5 to go in this second period. This is a penalty that is a must-kill for the Tar Heels. Wrist shot from the near circle. Gloved and held by Douthit. But if you're UNC, 5 goals is doable. It's not easy. Not easy by a long shot. So we get another look at this. This is a great look across through the Tar Heel formation to get that shot. But while 5 goals is going to be difficult, it's still possible if you can get one late, if you're UNC, to cut this to a 4-goal game and start making it interesting into the third. But if they give up a goal here on the power play, it becomes much, much harder here late in the period to make up what would then be a 6-goal deficit. Tar Heels having trouble clearing it out on this penalty. Oliveira will trap it on the boards, back behind the net. He's got a couple of IcePack members down there who strip him of the puck. Sent to the middle, one-timer wide. Another great chance in low for NC State, and they can't get it to go. Slapper from the near point off the stick of Hugo, blocked in front. Another try from the far side, doesn't get through the traffic, and NC State will control again at the point. Hugo, cross ice, Mazikowski creeping in, down to the goal line. The shot, rebound left in front, and a wide open net for Eric Todd, and he cannot finish. Well, we saw Matt Miller hit the crossbar in an open net earlier. Big hit there from Regan, and Todd is slow to get up. But twice now NC State has missed some open nets. Cross ice, not on the strong side for Solomon. And he can't get a shot away quick enough. To the middle, Robinson's one-timer stopped in front. He'll go around the net looking for the lacrosse move, and he's denied nicely by Kyle Oliveira, the captain on the defensive side for UNC. Was not going to let that happen tonight. And he will dump it up and out. 2:25 to go in the second. A 6-1 lead for NC State. Penalty time trickling down, and now out as Kramer is out of the box for the Tar Heels. We're back to even strength, and he'll wrap it around the boards. Held by Miller in the near corner. Back to the point for O'Rourke. Cross ice, and Hugo's shot deflected in front. Loose in the low slot, nobody there to put it home, and the Tar Heels clear it all the way down for an icing call. Exactly 2 minutes left in this second period. As we get another look at this sequence for NC State. Robinson behind the net, and Oliveira saw it coming and did exactly what you want to see from a defenseman. When someone tries to do that to your team, you knock him on his butt. And there's a close-up look at Robinson. He would have been the second IcePack player to do that this season. It wasn't long after Andrei Svechnikov pulled it off for the first time in the NHL, actually right here at PNC Arena, that Riley Johnson pulled it off and what I would argue might be a little bit smoother of a fashion than Svechnikov did against Wake Forest. It was a heck of a goal from Riley Johnson if you haven't seen that replay, but UNC is not going to let it happen here at PNC Arena in front of 6,000 fans. We're back underway. Again, it's NC State in possession. Bounces out in front. Oliveira there to clean it up. 1:45 to go as the Tar Heels clear the zone. Moving forward down the far wing, Beeson. He'll gain the line and dump it deep right in on Cannon. And Matt Gellatley there to force a cover-up and an offensive zone face-off with 1:37 left in the period. Certainly plenty to talk about in the locker room if you're UNC. A lot of adjustments to make as Robinson streaks forward again. He'll be bodied up, loses the puck. Tar Heels turn it over, high slot, wrist shot, shouldered away by Douthit off the stick of Matt Miller, who pickpocketed that clearance pass. And NC State looks again to smother the UNC breakout. They have really had trouble, as you see there, knocked away by Arini. Down the far wing, into the middle, and the one-time shot might have gotten to Douthit, but either way, it stays out. Not a weak shot, or not a strong shot, I should say, on the far side for NC State. And now a turnover neutralized for the IcePack. Carlson finds Gellatley, wrist shot right in on Cannon, and he'll jump on the rebound quickly and cover up for another faceoff. Well, here in the final couple of minutes, ever since killing off that penalty, see a little bit more jump out of this UNC team. Couple of shots in on Cannon, a few offensive zone faceoffs with a chance to set up an offensive possession and get some chances as well. But they haven't been able to put one past him since the 2.5-minute mark of that first period. Behind the net, controlled by the Tar Heels. Reeves knocked to the ice. He'll get back up and collect the puck again against Seppi. Out to the middle point. Richard with the wrist shot, hit a man in front, and flex wide. Carlson with the rebound, denied by the blocker of Cannon. And the Tar Heels in control again. High slot. Rister doesn't make it to the net. Centered back out in front. Bouncing around through bodies, nobody can get a stick to it, and it trickles to the far corner where it'll be gloved down and covered by Josh Cannon with 15.5 seconds left in period number 2. Well, it's something you certainly should be happy about if you're a UNC fan, is the way this period has ended. Pretty strong penalty kill from the Tar Heels, and they've actually tilted the ice back in their favor here at the end of the period, and they've had some extended zone time over the last minute or so. With 14 seconds to go, it's one back behind the net. Reese rubs out Victor Hugo to take that puck away behind the net for Alex Jones with 5 seconds left in the period. Dumped up the far boards, furthered along, turned over. Quick wrist shot coming from Reese, but that's not going to be enough as the period comes to a close. We played 40 minutes here in Raleigh. Tar Heels struck first. NC State has struck 6 times since. 6-1 after 2 here at PNC Arena.
Welcome back to PNC Arena. After 40 minutes, it is a 6-1 lead for the NC State IcePack over your UNC Tar Heels. A little bit better of a period for UNC. Didn't get as many opportunities in on Cannon as they would have liked, but they did play a little bit of a cleaner game in their defensive end. Not quite as many turnovers, but we did see a couple of early turnovers that led to goals, particularly the goal for Ryan Kinney. It was a great shot from the near wing to the top right corner on Douthit. That's been a weak spot for Will Douthit here tonight, and that was a big one. A goal with a minute left in the first period and then just 20 seconds into the second period. To be able to do that if you're NC State, that is devastating to the UNC Tar Heels. They would have liked to come out, jump on NC State early and try to even out the game and the momentum flow, but they weren't able to do that. There's still some work to be done for the Tar Heels. If you're UNC, what you'd really like to see in this third period is a little bit more offensive zone play. They've really struggled through these first 2 periods continually to break out of their own zone cleanly and keep possession into the neutral zone and then into their offensive zone. That's what has resulted in a lot of odd man rushes and a lot of great chances for NC State. Now, granted, the Tar Heels defense has done a pretty good job of denying NC State the front of the net here in the second period, which is a big reason they only give up 2 goals as opposed to 4 in the first 20 minutes, but they're going to have to hold NC State off the board if they want to get back into this game in the third. It is a 6-1 lead for the IcePack as we head to the final 20 minutes. We'll step aside and come back with the third period at PNC Arena right after this. It's NC State 6, UNC 1. Tar Heels heading back out onto the ice for the third and final period here at PNC Arena. As you get a look at the Tar Heels coming back out, it is a 6-1 deficit for UNC. It started in the first period. Patrick Kramer actually got the Tar Heels on the board and on top early in the game, about 2.5 minutes in, but after that it was Laith Jadala, Alex Robinson, Colby Peterson, and Chris Solomon scoring the final 4 goals of the period, including Solomon's in the final minute to make it 4-1 after one. And then a quick start for the Pack got them up 5-1 as Captain Ryan Kinney sniped the top right corner on Will Douthit to make it 5-1 20 seconds into the second. And then late in the period, with just over 5 minutes to play, Parker Zarek took advantage of a turnover and put one home on a shorthanded breakaway to make it 6-1. And that's where we stand right now. The biggest issues again tonight for UNC has been just turning the puck over in bad positions. That's exactly what has led to at least 4 of the 6 goals that NC State has. Now, if the Tar Heels can figure out how to break out of the zone cleanly and get around this forecheck that has been suffocating from NC State,
then they could get back into this hockey game. 5 goals, certainly a lot to make up in 20 minutes, but this Tar Heel team has plenty of goal scorers out there, and if they can get some more zone time, they're certainly going to get some more chances, and we'll see how Josh Cannon reacts to that, if that is the case. We're underway here in the third period. Big hit by Regan. Carlson picks up the loose change. He'll bring it into the offensive zone. Rips one from the high slot. That slap shot blocked down by Mazikowski, and it never gets to the net. NC State outlets. Down the far wing, Jadala. He'll bring it in. Forced back behind the net. Swept around. Knocked off the puck, and the Tar Heels take it away. Carlson again on the far wing. This time, he'll just swing it deep. Collected on the near wall by Mazikowski, who forces it up and out of the zone. And a chance coming 2-on-1 for NC State. Jadala's shot tipped on the way in, and it just trickles to Douthit, who handles it easily. Now Riley Johnson backhands one in front. Nobody there to finish, and Matt Gelatley comes away with it. He'll find Graham Karen on the near sideline. NC State had a couple of good chances there, but it's the Tar Heels getting out of danger, but only for a moment. Karen misfires on the pass. It's all the way down for an icing call. 18:47 left in this third period. Still a 6-1 lead for the IcePack. The only 2 goals of the second period went to State. Ryan Kinney in the first 20 seconds of the period. Parker Zark in the final 6 minutes. And that one came shorthanded. That was certainly a devastating blow to the Tar Heels. As we get a quick whistle, Karen knocked down the puck on the side of the net with a high stick. And so we'll have a face-off to the near side of Douthit with 18:39 to play. If you're UNC, you've got to score, and you've got to score quickly if you want to get back into this game. Need one, really need one, in the first 5 minutes. One by NC State off the draw. Near boards, it's Peterson. And an abbreviated slapper there right in on Douthit. No problem with the glove, but there's no doubt in my mind when you look at the shot selection for NC State tonight. They've taken a lot of off-angle shots, but most importantly to look at, I think, is where they're targeting. They've targeted that top right corner on Douthit all night. It's resulted in at least 3 of their 6 goals, or pardon me, 4 of their 6 goals. And I'll see if Douthit's able to make any kind of adjustments. Richard loses his stick on a poke check, so he'll be stickless for this sequence. Behind the net, it's Johnson. His pass out in front off a skate. It deflects out of the zone, and Richard will be able to recollect his stick as O'Rourke backhands it up the near wall for Johnson. He'll loop back, slingshots through the middle of the ice, and down the far wing. Wrist shot easily handled by Douthit and swept around to the near boards by the Tar Heel defense. Behind the net, Daniel Jones grabs the dump in. That one came from the point from Mazakowski. He'll clear it up to the center ice. Getting a stick to it was Carlson. That'll avoid the icing, and the Tar Heels get a change with 17.5 to go in the third. Well, it's been now a full 2 periods since Carolina has put a puck past Josh Cannon. It was at 17:30 of the first period that we saw the first goal of the game, and we've got another whistle and a stoppage here at the beginning of the period. Just over 2.5 minutes gone. I'm not sure what forced this stoppage. I have to wait and see. The puck seemed to still be in play, but the faceoff will come out of the zone, and the Tar Heels have a chance to push forward. It's one forward. Beeson wins the race. He goes down to the ice, backhanded out in front by Carlson, and we've got a penalty coming up. Oh, no, pardon me. Cannon will cover. The official put up his hand as though he was signaling a penalty, and the way Beeson went down, it looked like you could get one there. But instead, it'll be an offensive zone faceoff for UNC. It'll be to the far right side of Cannon. As Regan steps in to take it, he'll win it backwards, swung towards the net, but wide. And NC State will collect behind their own net. Up the near wall goes Eric Todd. Banks it off the boards into the UNC zone. Chris Solomon there on the forecheck as well. He'll push the puck deep. Getting control of it is Todd. Out in front. Zarek's backhander goes just wide. Solomon again looking in front. And they can't connect. Beeson out in transition. He's got a man with him in Carlson. Wrist shot deflects high and wide. Carlson will chase it down on the far wing and can't come away with it. NC State moving forward again. Across the red line goes Chris Solomon. Tried to dump it deep. Glove down at the defense by the Tar Heels and moved forward again. Reeves sidesteps a check as he pokes the puck forward. Back for Jacobs. His shot is stopped. The rebound's there, but Cannon beats Jacobs to it and covers up for the faceoff. And here's another look at the play by Reeves. Heavy hip check coming in. Good eyes for Reeves. Pokes it past the defender and jumps around him to keep the play moving. 16-18 left in the contest, and still a 5-goal advantage for the Tar Heels. Up the near wing, or for the IcePack, pardon me. Tar Heels trailing by 5. Alex Robinson for NC State. Working around up high in the zone to the near point for Mazakowski. He'll look things over. Couple of passes denied. Got the first one back. The second one ends up on the stick of Matt Gilatli, and he'll clear it to the far side, hoping he had a teammate streaking down that wing, but he didn't. Mazakowski now with space to move forward. He'll drive down the near wing. Backhanded out in front behind his back. Nobody there. It's kept in up near the point by Matt Miller, but eventually flipped out, and we're going to get our first penalty of the third period. This will go against Chris Adamson. And Adamson will head to the box for 2 minutes. And it does not get any better, at least right now, for the Tar Heels. They'll be down a man for 2 minutes. They're going to have to kill this off to try and keep this game within a somewhat reachable distance. Face-off controlled by NC State. This is a very good IcePack power play. Into the middle. The pass slips through the legs of Zarek, and it's cleared out of danger by the Tar Heels, and now they will draw a penalty. Ben Reese hustling through the neutral zone, and I believe this penalty will go against Cam Mazakowski, as he also gets called for a hooking penalty. You get a great look at it there. Mazakowski wasn't moving his feet well enough, and the speedy Reese got past him and forced the penalty. So we will play 4-on-4 hockey here for a couple of minutes. as play resumes. Again controlled off the draw by State. Hauko clears it all the way down. It will hit a player on the way, so no icing called. And it's held on the near point by Matt Miller. Miller, backhand pass to the middle, couldn't get it to go. Kicks it to the front of the net. Nobody there to put it on Douthit, and it trickles to the near corner. Again, Jadala. Back up to the point for O'Rourke. His pass across is out of the zone. Kind of an awkward pass on the wrong side for O'Rourke. And NC State has to retreat. We're about 30 seconds, a little bit more, into the 4-on-4 now. After the NC State penalty or power play expires, or Adamson's penalty, I should say, expires, then the Tar Heels will have an abbreviated power play. And now we've got another stoppage. 14:30 to go. Jones and Hauko have a few words. And it looks like we're going to get another penalty. So 3 penalties in the span of about a minute and a half, maybe a little bit more. And this time it'll be Matt Miller. 2 minutes for high sticking on Miller. And it'll be a great chance for the Tar Heels. 4-on-3. There's going to be a ton of space on the ice, a man advantage, and a chance to put one past Josh Cannon for the first time since the first period. Tar Heels win the faceoff. Beeson back to the near point. Across for Gellatley. He'll fire one from the top of the circle on the far side, and that one's knocked away. Swings it to the near boards. Nobody there for UNC, and the IcePack penalty kill clears it all the way down. Played 6 minutes here in the third period. Tar Heels still down 6-1 as Beeson moves forward. He'll wrist one on goal. That ends up high and wide and deflects all the way back out into neutral ice where Mason Regan has to track it back down. Dumped into the zone by the Tar Heels. Lifted up. Regan can't find it as the puck's up in the air. And a slapper from the high slot is good. On the near side, Gellatley rips one past Cannon, and the Tar Heels finally get one past the NC State netminder for the first time in over 2 periods. It's Matt Gellatley with his 13th of the season, or 12th, pardon me, of the season. And you get another look at it there. It's not an easy shot to stop when Gellatley has time to tee one up and fire it home. Now, there should be an NC State player coming out of the penalty box at this point. It should be Cam Mazikowski, whose penalty has expired after the goal. But we should still have some time left on the penalty to Matt Miller. I think that's what's being ironed out right now as they get us set for another faceoff. But we should stay for, and wow, Mazikowski is still in the box. That's interesting. The first penalty should be the one to come out, but instead Miller, or no, pardon me, as I think about it, believe it's Miller coming out because his penalty came at 4-on-4 to create that power play. So Miller comes out, Mazikowski stays in, and that is what the officials are explaining to both benches at this point, is that Mazikowski was in when it was 4-on-4. So because Miller's penalty created another power play, that is the penalty that comes off the board. So Mazikowski and Adamson both still in the box with 2-minute hooking penalties. And we'll continue to wait for the officials to finish their explanation with head coach Mike Gazzillo of the NC State IcePack before we resume. The IcePack leading your Tar Heels 6-2 now after the goal from Matt Gellatley. Quickly, Adamson out of the box in another power play situation for UNC. And another one here would make this very, very interesting, because a 3-goal deficit with over 10 minutes to play is certainly not an easy deficit to overcome, but it is overcomable. Much more than that 6-1 deficit was about a minute ago. Tar Heels in control. Far corner, Victor Hugo knocks his man off the puck. It's Eric Todd. Ben Reese, who's just knocked off the puck, gets it back. Backhanded behind the net looking for Adamson. He's beat to it by Ricky Frosch, who slaps it up and out to clear and kill some more time on this penalty. Richard behind his own net. Swings it up the boards. Oliveira pokes it out. And at the red line, it's centered for Chris Adamson. He'll sweep a pass into the far corner. It wraps around the boards behind the net. Knocked back up the near side. Held in at the blue line. And knocked back deep. A slapper from Mazakowski doesn't get out. Deflected back behind the NC State net. Frosch knocked down. Back behind the goal, they'll battle for it. Shoveled to the far corner for Oliveira. Thrown at the net. And it's handled nicely by Cannon. Back to Oliveira on the far point. He'll wrist one down into the corner. In front for Carlson. He'll circle on the far side of the zone. He's knocked off the puck, and it's taken back up by Eric Todd. Todd over the blue line. Stops there, looking for a teammate trailing. It's not there. He's drilled as he takes a shot from the high circle far side. And